final of the women's lightweight coxless forwards. Lane 6 nearest the camera is Canada, 5 Australia, 4 Great Britain, 3 China, the defending champions, 2 West Germany, and lane 1 the United States. Here are the Canadians, and Great Britain in lane 4, who were winners at Lucerne this year, which is nothing to be sneezed at all, but there were no Americans, no Australians, nor Canadians there, so it's something of an unknown quantity. And the Britons, who are leading at the moment in lane 4, have next to them in 3 the Chinese, who are defending the title, having won their first ever gold medal at the World Championships in this event last year.
Yes, and it's the same Chinese combination. The British crew from last year has one change, Rachel Hurst in the 2-seat. Last year the British crew were very well placed for a medal, but unfortunately before the final they were involved in an accident which damaged their boat, and more importantly I think greatly upset them, and they rode well below themselves in the final, and here is their opportunity to get back on terms with the crew from China. At this stage they've gone out to dominate, they've gone out and taken half a length. I think the danger point from the point of view of this British four is that the Chinese row a much longer, lower stroke, and they're obviously containing themselves at this point. And the question really is whether the British can get far enough away to contain what was likely to be a late challenge from the Chinese.
Britain and China were the 2 heat winners. We'll just see how much separates them here as they go through 1,000 metres. Certainly not very much. Britain lead, Chinese less than a second behind, Australia in 3rd. Britain's time in the heat was slower than China's, but then we need do no more than win.
In women's lightweight rowing, the weight average has to be 57 kilograms. Now that's a little over 9 stone, so these are not big ladies by any means. In the heavyweight category, we see women of 75, 80 kilograms and more, which is 12.5, 13 stone and even more, and approaching 6 foot and upwards.
Chinese have begun to put on a bit of pressure here, and Britain will need to respond.
Yes, the Chinese have raised their rate of striking from 32 to nearly 35, and they're maintaining their length, and they just seem to be levering their boat past the British crew. And the British crew is looking a little bit short.
Just a little more than 500 metres to go now on the placid waters of the lake at Bled, and nothing between Great Britain and China. What a good race this is turning into. Great Britain in lane 4, China in 3, and they are exchanging the lead by inches with every stroke.
Yes, the British crew have simply got to hold their length. They had a bad patch a little bit earlier. They seem just to have squeezed out a bit more. They found a bit more length, and they've got to hold that if they're going to be in at the death, because somewhere they've got to find some more flexibility. They're going to have to be able to charge for that line.
Well, very little between them, it seems, as they come to the 1,500 metre checkpoint. Great Britain still officially hold the lead from China, and indeed they've done well to respond to that Chinese burst, because they have actually extended just by about half a second the advantage they held at 1,000 metres. China here with West Germany in the background, out of the picture, but only out of the picture literally, certainly not in racing terms. Great Britain in lane 4.
And the Chinese do seem to have got a small advantage now. They seem to have got about 6 feet. And it's really now that the British four have got to mount a sprint if they're to get back on terms.
I think all our hearts are with the British four here, but it was a great thrill to see the Chinese take gold medals last year. It's always nice when one of the newcomers to the family of world rowing shows itself capable of winning. And they certainly are making a brave bid here to hold on to those gold medals. Great Britain pushing them all the way. The order: China, Great Britain, the West Germans are in 3rd, but it's a battle for gold and silver between China and Great Britain, and I think the Chinese just about have it at the moment.
Indeed, and look how long they're rowing. Huge, long strokes they maintain. The rest of the field rather shorter and quicker. It's those long strokes from the Chinese crew that are carrying them through to the line.
And they certainly had something in reserve. They pressed the British over the middle, over the third 500 metres, and took the real strength out of the British girls, and they've rode through now to take the gold. But Britain will take a very meritorious silver, and it is very close for the bronze. Maybe West Germany in lane 2, but it was very close indeed. I think the Australians were also in there with a shout.
We'll just look at it on the slow motion. There's the Chinese crew, about a length, fractionally over perhaps, and Great Britain about a half length. We're looking now at the Australians nearest the camera and beyond the West Germans.
For my money, West Germany, but I think we ought to wait for official confirmation. Yes, West Germany just, but only just. But what a very good performance by Great Britain, second to the defending world champions.